Hello everyone, Mark here. Thought I'd just give you an update on shunning again. First of all, before I say anything else, I know there are, and I know it's been on some of the Facebook pages recently again, and it's something that all of us deal with on a day-to-day basis. I love all of our ex-brothers and sisters that are dealing with shunning, and they deal with it in their own special way. And my message, as it's been before, there is not an exact science to this. You deal with shunning how you see fit, and if that means just avoiding it, then you avoid it. If you confront it, then you confront it. There are no two ways the same. Everybody will deal with it in the most comfortable way that they think fit, and nobody should ever criticize you for that. And we just support you. All of us support each other. And so I just wanted to get that absolutely clear, because what I'm about to say is not everybody's cup of tea, and it's not saying I'm not trying to get a message across that this is what you should do, because you certainly shouldn't do this if you feel it's something that you just wouldn't want to and you feel uncomfortable with. So, but this is my experience and this is my way of dealing with it. It's well documented now that Cora and I are very capable of dealing with shunning and facing it, fronting it head on. That's our way. And quite often when we meet the brothers and sisters that peddle this stuff in the high streets, I've just taken it out of its wrapper. They've got so thin, haven't they, by the way? They're really thin now, these magazines. In fact, this Awake was inside the Watchtower and I didn't even know it was there. In fact, I picked up two because I thought the Awake and the Watchtower, one was showing Watchtower, one was showing Awake. I thought I needed to get both, but I actually got two lots. They've got so thin. Anyway, I digress. What I'm trying to get at is that I just came back from my local supermarket with some bread, and I was walking along. I saw them there, an elder that I know very well from years back, and this guy was with a sister that I didn't recognise. I believe that she may be Polish, quite possibly, but anyway, they were in deep conversation, as they always are when you approach these racks. Nowhere near the racks, they're having a good conversation between each other. I looked at the racks and I recognised that I didn't have the magazine, so I pulled a couple out and I thought, well, I'll take those home and have a good read. I'm glad I did, because I found something in there on the medical front that I want to bring out in another video. But anyway, I decided to go up to this particular brother that I've known for many, many years. And I'm not going to mention his name, but I am going to call him Mr. B. And I know that Mr. B will probably watch this video because I know what he's like. And I don't mean that in an insulting way, Mr. B, but you are a very inquisitive man, and you will probably extremely privately check out our videos, and I know you have been for a very long time. Anyway, this is a message to you, but also a message to others out there, that this is our way of dealing with the shunning. And I pulled these magazines from the rack, and I saw him leaning against this small power station metal box. He was leaning on it, and I went over and I spoke to him in a very calm and sedate way. I smiled, looked him in the eye, and I said, "Hello, Mr. B." I won't call him by his first name, but I said hello to him. "How are you?" And with that, he gave me a very nervous smile and was staring at me and then looking away like this. Now, I know this particular brother is probably a lot braver than many of the others, and I'll give him that because I know him from years ago. And so I decided to stand there and ask him some questions, because I haven't spoken to him for years. I asked him how he was, and he just sort of shrugged his shoulders, and he was looking around. His eyes were going everywhere apart from me, and every now and again he would give me a glance. And I said, "Isn't it terrible that you will not be able to speak to me when I'm just politely asking you how you are?" Just shrugged his shoulders, and I said, "I think it's really bad that you can't do that. You can't talk to me, but I can talk to you. And how's your family?" Nothing back. And he stood there, and I looked at the sister, and she's sort of looking at him for sort of direction. And I asked her, I said, "How are you? We've never met before." And with that, she smiled nervously and looked away. I said, you know, this shunning thing is quite extraordinary. I said, are you aware of how many people kill themselves, commit suicide as a result of this active shunning that you do? Are you aware of that? Still nothing. And anyway, I stayed there and asked him some more questions. I could see him getting more and more uncomfortable. And with that, all of a sudden, he just came out with a scripture from Ezekiel, tapped me on the shoulder and said, then they will know, then they will know. And he'd broken the ice. He'd actually started talking to me. And I thought that was fantastic. I immediately came back with John chapter 3, verse 3 and said, yes, they will know. They will know, won't they, Mr. B? I didn't call him Mr. B, I called him by his first name, but for the sake of this, I'm not going to reveal his name. So, sadly, I'm hoping that he'll go home and have a good look at that scripture in John chapter 3, verse 3, and realise that if he's going to start quoting to me, then they will know. I know exactly what he's going on about, the name Jehovah. And there's even a song, isn't there? You know, I mean, for us as we're ex-ministers, you know which one I'm on about. What am I getting at here? He broke his silence and he eventually started talking to me. And he said, it's my choice. I said, are you aware, Mr. B? Are you aware that you're in a big scam? Are you? And I kept looking at him and he was moving his head and I kept moving mine to get his eye contact. I said, are you aware that you're being scammed? Have you, as an elder, announced to the congregation the finance letter that was just been sent out to everybody? Did you give them, the congregation, all 3 pages, or did you just give them the 1 page? Total silence back. In fact, he stopped nodding and just he could see the girl next to me, the sister. I think was probably getting very confused. I said, "This is a scam. It's dishonest, Mr. B. You know it is. And you're an elder. You know that letter should be read in its entirety, but you're only going to give the congregation 1 piece because they're controlling you, and that's exactly where they want you to be as an elder. This is wrong, Mr. B. You're in a scam." I said, "Have you ever done any research?" And then he opened up again. He said, "This is my choice to be in this religion." I said, "Yes, it is. But in order to have a choice about the religion, shouldn't you also do the research to make sure that you know exactly what you're involved in? Have you read anything from jwfacts.com, for instance? Have you, sister, read anything from jwfacts.com? With that, still nothing. He said, "This is my choice to be in it, and I'm going to stay where I am." And it was at that point, and I know you're going to watch this at some point, Mr. B. So I'm looking you in the eye again, and I'm going to say, as I told you on the day, and as I've always said, we love you. We really do. And that's not a patronising thing to say. But you're caught up in a high control, man-made religion. And that the scriptures are shared by everybody and not just Jehovah's Witnesses. And there are many things that I could share with you about scripture, about indoctrination, about the high control that you're under, if only you would release yourself to actually look at it for what it really is. But then you re-emphasize to me that this, as far as I'm concerned, is my choice. I'm staying in this religion. And I sense from that you have done some research. I really did. And if you have, I feel sorry for you if you've not started to see it by now. So I'm asking you to wake up. Going back to the shunning issue, you didn't shun me in the end. So I congratulate you for that. Thank you for that. And also the sister then started asking me questions because you broke the levee. You broke it and she started asking questions. On the way when you said, if you don't leave, then I'm going to have to leave because I'm not going to talk to you anymore about any of this. I said, well, we really haven't spoken at all. I said, I'm quite happy to stand here all afternoon and talk to you about it because it's important to me. And he said, well, I've made my choice, and if that's as far as I said, well, I'm not going to move. If you want to move, then you're going to have to move. I said, because I'm not moving. I'm going to stand here and talk to you. And with that, he said, well, then I'll move. I thought, well, that's your choice, and it's very sad that you're not still in a position to want to stand here and talk to me because you've put yourself in the public domain. And so I can, in a civil way, talk back to you. With that, he went to grab one of the racks, and then the sister grabbed the other rack, and she said to me, very tellingly. She was very frustrated by now, listening to all that we've been saying. And I'm hoping that some of this will have sunk into her psyche just as much as his. And she said, "Don't you have a conscience?" And I said to her, "That's interesting. Do I have a conscience? Me?" I said, "That's very appropriate, coming from a religion like yours." I said, "Yes, I do have a conscience." And she said, "Where are you going with this Jesus Christ thing?" And I said, "Because I believe in Jesus Christ." She said, "Well, what about Jehovah?" I said, "Have you done your research? Have you done your research on who Jehovah really is? Have you?" And with that, she just shook her head and like this. As I would have done in her place, I would have done exactly the same thing. I really would. So I shared this experience, and I'm just ranting into the YouTube now to share it out there, because I hope that both of them will start to at least investigate, even if they don't like me as a person. And with Mr. B, he might have reasons to want to go down that route because of history, because of things that happened in the past where I know actively he was not on my side when we were disfellowship. He actively worked against us, and you know you did, for a number of different things. Am I still bothered by that? No, I'm really not, because I can see the bigger picture now. You are being controlled by a religion. And I just wish, because you're a lovely man inside, there are wonderful things about you that could come out if you could be your true identity, if you could be the real person that is hidden away, that's been hidden away for decades now. You have a spirit of independence in you, and it's not a satanic thing, where you can be a researcher. You can be that person where you can really open up and examine the scriptures properly, if only you would allow yourself to do so. So my message is to all of the elders in Cheltenham is that I will not harass you. I'm not there for that. But if I see you in the public domain, I know for myself and also for Cora, we will politely approach you and talk to you. That's always going to happen. And you will always follow the same policy of packing up your racks and walking away. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And it's not me that's in a box that's being controlled. It's you. And every time you walk away with your racks, it gives me a sense of liberation that what I'm doing is truthful. What I'm doing is actually just exposing the cult mentality and control that you're under. And I have nothing but love for you. I can't say I respect you because you've not made the decision to fight it, to examine it, to explore. So I don't respect your actions because you will continue to shun people. And while you do that, I won't respect you for that. But that doesn't take away or exclude the fact that I can still love you. The two are very different things. And I know when you get rid of the spell of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and all its legal entities, and you start to examine some of those financial irregularities that I've just mentioned to you as well this afternoon, I'm hoping that you are the type of guy that will at least examine it for what it is and see it. And just be honest. You knock on my door this evening or any other time, Mr. B, I will embrace you and I will not judge you. And I'm not judging you now. You say it's your choice to be in this religion. I don't respect you for that, and I never will, as you don't respect me for being where I am right now. But one thing we should always try to remember is that as adults, that we can make the right conclusive decisions based on all of the evidence, based on all of the information that is available out there. And that's something that you refuse to acknowledge. And that makes you somebody that I don't understand, because that's not the person you are deep down inside. And I know that. There's my answer. There's just a resume of what went on this afternoon. Going back to the shunning and how all of us deal with this. If you have the courage to do it, then go ahead and do it. If you don't and you want to avoid these people because you just can't face it, that's just as good too. Each of us to their own devices when it comes to shunning. The reason I'm sharing this is to say that you can confront these people. You do not have to hide in the shadows. You've got nothing to feel guilty about. You are a special individual. Each of us is unique. Each of us has the right to be loved and respected and treated as a human being. The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society perpetrates a project of evil and hatred through shunning, and they use the elders to do that and control the masses in their cells within the kingdom halls. Many of the elders can see it for what it is now. Why do we know that? Because we talk to the conscious class, many of them around the world, those that are in the kingdom halls, many of them elders. And I just wish you would wake up and see it. I really do. End of rant. Thank you very much for listening. Thought I'd share it out there. But we're not going to go away. We're not going to give up. Because we love you. And although I keep telling you all that, every time I see you in the high streets, you never say it back. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Just to finish on this one point. I can tell you that I have an agape love. I can tell you that I love my brothers and sisters that are caught up in this religion. But you will not tell me you love me. Greatest commandment of all from Jesus Christ, as this sister was talking about with Jesus Christ, was to love each other. And yet when it's confronted to you, when I ask you to embrace this love, you all ignore it to a T. All of you will not acknowledge that somebody loves you, but you won't love them back. And that says it all for us on the outside of this so-called religion. We see it for what it is. You are not loving. And we all know that because our families shun us, our children, mothers, fathers, uncles, brothers, sisters, grandparents, they shun because they're scared to death because of the organization, and they're threatened by it. And so the love evaporates and it all becomes conditional. And you know that, brother. You deep down, you know that. And you have a responsibility to your wife, to your son, to your daughter, and your other daughter now, your two daughters. You can still make a change. That's all I'm going to say on it. And I just hope one day you and I can shake hands and you see the real truth, or as we like to call it, the truth about the truth, and take it from there. My door is always open to you, brother, and it always will be. But if I see you in the high street, I will talk to you, and I will be civil. I will never be abusive. You will never be able to say I'm harassing you. If you walk away, it's because it's your choice, as you said, to walk away. Okay? So let's just get that absolutely correct. It's pathetic. Anyway, enough of that. I'm off for a glass of wine. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.